Good morning, everybody. Happy 2023. Welcome back. I hope that you all had a really restful, relaxing break. You know what? Today I want to talk with you about using spiritual principles to guide your business, to guide your private practice, because you know what? It's the start of another year. And I know so many of us use this time for a reset, which is absolutely great. I'm actually using the time myself for a reset with things like my health and wellness. But you know what? If you've set yourself an intention, I think that's amazing, as long as you can really allow yourself to lean into it. And one of the ways to do that would be to have a daily alignment task. So what I would do is just in your planner, in your digital diary, or in your regular diary, just make a note so that every day the very first thing that you do aligns with that intention. So you might say, what are two things I could do today to call in a new client? Or what are two things I could do today to help me feel more abundant in my private practice? Or do you know what I mean? So something like that. And that will be how you begin to embody the results of that success that you really, really want to experience. So that's just a little bit of a tip there, and that should help you not get lost and not fall off the wagon. But the other thing too is I want to share with you something that happened for me. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the last episode or not, so look, I'll just go into it really quickly. But, I was using my spiritual tools. I think maybe I did mention this. I was journaling. And one of the things that came out with the journaling was a sentence that just really resonated with me. And from there, I've had a complete rebrand. And it's all happened in a real whirlwind, but it didn't take much effort because I was in flow. So, it's been really exciting, and every day I'm finding something else to update with my branding, Yesterday, I was rebranding the Inner Circle, and the day before that, I rebranded the Private Practice 101. So that's the new name for the Private Practice Success Hub. It's just beautiful, and it looks so beautiful. But, again, it was a big job because I realized that, it meant that I also had to go and rebrand all of the resources. And if you're in those groups, you'll know how many resources there are. So it took some time, but it was a passion project. I really loved it, and it's made me fall more in love with my groups and more in love with the work that we all do. And so I wanted to talk with you today about using spiritual principles to guide you in your private practice journey as well. So for me, it didn't start until, I mentioned before, it was kind of that dark night of the soul experience that I had with my work as a psychologist a few years ago that caused me, or that led me back to using tools that I'd grown up with, I think my very first set of cards was by Doreen Virtue, and they were the angel cards. Oh yeah, get this. I bought those angel cards, right? I was a teenager when I got those cards, and from memory, I think they were about $15 or something like that. And I went to go and get another set of them because I've got no idea where they are. Obviously, I'm a lot older now. I don't know where they are, but anyway, I wanted to get a new set, and they were like they were hundreds of dollars. I think I paid $280 for this set of cards, but anyway, I've got them again. So it was having something that at the time felt devastating to me that led me back to those spiritual practices. And I have to wonder why. I have to wonder why it came into my mind, why it came into my thought process that was even something that I should do. I don't even know why I went there, but I did, and I haven't looked back. From there, I relearned how to use the divination tools like oracle cards, like tarot reading cards. I learned so much. And as you know, I traveled to all different parts of the world learning about spiritual practices and rituals and beliefs and all those sorts of things as well. So it really opened up the door to so much. But it's also very important to me to apply this stuff because I want to live it, because I really, really, really believe it, as you do. So I always wanted to look at, well, how can this work when it comes to business? What's woo? What's not woo? What's science based? What's not science based? Is it even important if something's science based, or am I feeling like I need to convince people that this is okay to use? And where's that all coming from? So it's a lot of inner work, isn't it, when we're looking at this? And so I wanted to share with you that one of the things that I've realized as someone, a woman in private practice, in business, I've been in business now for 27 years, in private practice for going on 26 years. Um, what I have discovered is that tools like cards are amazing when I can't see the forest for the trees. When I need a different perspective on something, they are amazing, because I think when you look at a picture on an oracle card, or when you look at a picture on a tarot card or an affirmation card or something like that, I think the more detail it has, the more you can glean from it, and it unlocks something in your subconscious awareness that is meaningful for you. And it's that we draw our insights from. Our conscious mind. You remember when we were first learning about counseling and psychology, and you learn about, the iceberg, and that most of the iceberg is under the water, and that's your subconscious, right? So it makes sense to me that we'd want to be tapping into the subconscious mind as much as possible when it comes to things like being creative in our business, problem solving in our business, creating new programs, creating our marketing, all of those sorts of things. The gold is in the subconscious. So any tool that we can use that will help us tap into that wealth and abundance of resources that we already have access to is so, 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 so valuable. And you don't have to use cards. There are so many other tools that you can use. You can use Reiki to clear your energy. You can use sage to smoke. Smoke is so powerful. If you want smokeless sage, you can get that. I have Palo Santo from Cleanse & Co, and it's a spritz, and it does the same job. But I think the other thing to understand too is that tools will take you so far. They're like, as I see it, I feel like, for me anyway, my experience has been that the tools have been like training wheels, and eventually you become very, very proficient, and you come to know yourself, and you come to know your spirit, and you come to know your soul. And then for me, it's a matter of, I write things out. That's how I get the quickest downloads, the quickest insights, the quickest inspiration. And do you know what? Before I even finish writing, I already know what I'm going to say to myself. But this has become such a powerful tool for me, using spiritual processes to inform different aspects of my business. For example, this whole rebrand came from spiritual processes. It came from journaling, and it came tapping into my subconscious awareness. And now, as a result of that, I have this beautiful branding now that just feels so luxurious and so expensive and so refined and so grown up and so sophisticated, yet it's got that depth, and it really does convey that there's the light and the shadow, and there's that moodiness there, and it just feels so good, and it feels so rich in terms of layers and depth and things like that. And I feel like at this point in the journey of my practice, that's where it is. And it's just been a joy to see this unfold, and to, when we consciously and intentionally manifest, where be very aware of what we're bringing into the world. And we're taking something from being an idea that was in my mind, that I wrote down on a piece of paper, and then I took aligned action, and that's how we've manifested this new brand. But it's been really, really powerful. And not only for branding, but using my spiritual processes to help me know what to write on my social media. Like, I was looking at my Instagram now. As you know, I'm more a Facebook person than Instagram. However, I was going through my old planners over the Christmas break and I came across one from the start of last year. And I had made a note of the number of followers that I had on my Instagram account, and it was 5,035. Well, today I've got 7,017. And you know what? I think it's come about just very naturally and organically because I started working with my subconscious awareness through those spiritual tools. Like, I started asking myself, what does my audience really want to hear from me today? What could I share today that would be helpful for my audience and stuff like that. So I think connecting with the answers from within really increased my resonance with my potential audience. And so I attribute that, increase in following of however many percent, I can't even figure it out. I need more coffee. But it's a fair bit. Well, if it was say 5,000, 10% would be 500. So what's that? 40% increase in followers just from posting organically. And before I posted every single day, just asking what did I need to share and acting on that guidance, not dismissing it. So that's another way that I use spiritual processes to help me grow and help me expand my business, and to also help me connect with my audience and, as you can see, build my audience. The other thing that I use my spiritual processes for in private practice is to help me figure out what I want to be delivering and offering in the practice. So it was towards the end of last year that I sat down and I was journaling about what do I really want, what would feel good for me, what would feel light for me, where was my energy at. And as you know from previous episodes, I made the decision to drop my one-to-ones. So I'm not taking on new one-to-one clients at the moment. And you know what? That's not set in stone. That may change, but for the time being, I'm not going to be enrolling new people into mentoring or supervision or coaching or anything like that. It was on my heart to be able to increase my time freedom. And when I checked in with my soul about what would that look like, what would be the easiest way for me to have more time freedom and still scale, I knew, like, it came through in the journaling, that it was going to be focusing on the groups. Now I've got groups, but I think I had been so focused on making sure that all of my one-to-one clients felt cared for, nurtured, supported, had everything that they needed to achieve their goals and manifest their goals and dreams, that, it had caused an imbalance in my energy for my groups. And so I realized that I can be more present and I can show up and I can be a better resource for the groups if I have more time. So that's what's going on there. And I also checked in, so many of us have a focus word for the year, right? So I checked in with my higher self and I was like, what do I really need to do in this coming 12 months in order for me to have this time freedom and to be profitable and to help more people, but do it at scale. And what came through for me there was refining. And I didn't expect to hear that word because I love flowery words that feel very soulful. And you know what? Refining just was kind of like boring. And I wanted to try and see if I could come up with a different word. But the same word kept coming through. And then I had to explore my resistance to it. And I think refining just felt so boring because I'm used to always creating things. But again, my soul guidance hasn't let me down. And so I knew that I needed to trust and surrender, that if my soul was saying, do you know what? It's not about doing more stuff, Brooklyn. For you now in your business, you've got the stuff. You don't need more courses. You don't need more things. You don't need more webinars or downloads or anything like that. What you need right now is just to refine what you've already got. And that is how you're going to be able to explode the groups, help more people at scale, and reclaim your time. So that's what I've started to do. And that's, just another example of that's what led to the update with the branding, and that's what led to the update of the member portals for both of the paid memberships. And there'll be updates to the free groups as well, to the Counsellors Connect Australia group and to Australian Counsellors in Private Practice. There will be changes there, and it feels really, 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 really good. The other thing that came through for me was I asked myself, what do I need to let go of? And I asked for higher guidance on what I needed to let go of. And I used a visualization or a meditation that I created. And, I love making these, and I test them before I give them to people. And it was by listening to one of these meditations that I'd created and recorded that the guidance that came through for me was, I've just forgotten what I was going to say. Okay, I've lost it. I've gone off on a tangent. I'll come back to it. But anyway, the thing is that there are so many different ways that you can apply spiritual beliefs and spiritual approaches and resources and frameworks to guide what you're doing in your private practice. And I think the difference between somebody that dabbles, somebody that loves to play with the cards, and they'll shuffle the cards, and every morning they'll draw a card and they'll leave it next to the computer, but they're not going to actually act on it. I used to be that person too, but change came for me when I started implementing the guidance and trusting the guidance that came through. And that's what's led to these changes for this year. Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to share with you. What came through with that meditation was that it was time for me to get a virtual assistant. And again, I had resistance to this. In my conscious mind, I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this. And the reason why was because I've had virtual assistants in the past. Some have been great, others haven't, as you know. And so, yeah, I was ambivalent. But again, I said to myself, no, I'm going to trust my inner guidance, and I'm just going to see what happens. And I think I mentioned to you in the last episode that I was interviewing 3 virtual assistants, and they all sounded really promising. There was one from the UK, one from the USA, and one from Australia. And anyway, so I was open to it. I wasn't brimming over with excitement, but I was getting there. And then what happened was, it was so just divine timing. I was on Instagram and I had shared a story, and it was about how I'd had the rebrand on the website. And I think I wrote something in there like I was going to put up a page of free things. And, to remind me to do that, or I had to remember to do that or something. And this lady, she sent me a message. She replied to that story and said, this was really lovely and blah, blah, blah. And then she said, don't forget to add the free things to your website. And I thought, oh yeah, I've done that. So I went into the website, took a screenshot, and I messaged it back to her. And that was the beginning of our interaction. And you know what? We just started to have like regular conversation. There wasn't any sales. I didn't know what she did for a living, nothing like that. But we were speaking on the same level. She was using language that really resonated with me. She was talking about energy, and she was talking about higher consciousness, and she was talking about all of this stuff. And I just knew that like there was a connection there right from the very beginning. And then I said to her, what do you do? And she said that she was a VA. And I said to her, I'm looking for a VA. Are you looking for a client? She said yes. And anyway, we've managed to work something out together. And I am so excited to work with her. And, she was asking me, what could she take off my plate? Hang on, let me just bring up my Instagram. If you can hear some shuffling, that's just me on my Instagram trying to bring it up for you. Because this was so beautiful, just the way that she said it. Yeah, she was asking me like what my intentions are for 2023. She said, I'd love to ask you what your intentions are for 2023 because this helps me to support you in 2023. And she said things like, it's really important that my clients enjoy working with me because I'm here to make your life easier and to help you run your business with more ease and grace. I want to see you growing and achieving your accomplishments. I'm honored to be trusted to help you to grow your business. I would love to create more resources that bring you in money and time. Do you know what I mean? She was just saying, beautiful things. And she didn't have a package that was going to work with me. So she created one just for me. And that made me feel so good. And look, she even said this about my email. She said, I would love to take this task off your plate. It's so important that you enjoy your business. And that's what I'm here for. Right. So the strangest thing happened after that. I just knew she was the one that I wanted to work with because I hadn't had that sort of approach from any other VAs. And then what happened was I said, I got the quote and I was like, okay. So the quote was, it's 3 hours a week, 12 hours a month, and it's $400. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I was thinking to myself, well, that's $100 a week. And I thought, if it's going to be $100 a week and she's going to, get the email going again, but I'm not going to have to do it, that's great. Because still for me, I don't have email. But it means that if clients still want email, she's just going to take care of it. So I'm never going to have to deal with email ever, 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 ever again. I'm never going to write another email. And this just makes me feel, it was just like, I didn't realize how much pressure, even though I'd stopped emails for my business. Some still trickle through for some reason. I don't know why, but some still trickle through, and it's just pressure. And I think to myself, I'm not having this in my business anymore, but I don't want to leave people not having support. And so, do you know what I mean? It was just, I didn't love this energy very much. But just in knowing that somebody else is going to take care of that and I never again have to write another email for my business. Oh, the freedom. So I just feel like I've got all this energy back, and I was unaware how much energy it was actually, well, not taking from me, how much energy I guess I was giving to it, even though I wasn't doing it. But you know what I mean? It's just the energy of it. Yuck. So anyway, she's doing that now. And I just feel so, 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 so good. And you know what? I've got all these emails that need to be scheduled for things that are happening throughout the year. And she's just going to do all of that for me. And that just feels so great because it's something I could do. Yes, but it takes time and I want to get back my time. So this fits as well. And it means that anything I don't want to do, I get to give to her. And she loves doing the stuff that I don't love. And you know what? I really believe that we cross paths because I'd set the intention to hire a VA. I trusted that inner guidance to hire a VA. And then the universe delivered somebody to me that was perfect for my practice. And she starts working with me on the 9th of January. And I am so, 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 so excited for that. Just to know that there's somebody in the background doing all the things that I don't want to do, it just makes me feel like, like this weight's been taken off my shoulders, and now I can get back to helping and serving and doing all of the really, 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 really beautiful things. So that's a little bit of an insight into how I'm using spiritual principles and spiritual tools and approaches and even frameworks. And we're talking about these in Marketing with Soul on Thursday. We're talking about different spiritual approaches and frameworks to guiding your marketing. But I just wanted to give you this overview because it is a game changer. It definitely has been a game changer for me, and it has been for other people as well. And you're going to see some testimonials in your email and on my social over the next few days about it, and it's just so special. So do you know what? If you love spirituality and you want to learn how to use these sorts of spiritual tools and principles and approaches to guide your business too, I invite you to join the Inner Circle membership. The Inner Circle is a super supportive community of therapists, so psychologists, social workers, mental health social workers, counselors, coaches, Reiki practitioners, hypnotherapists, everyone who are committed to integrating and exploring how to integrate spirituality into their private practice. And when you're a member, you get access to like a wealth of resources and support to help you apply those tools and frameworks to your business in a way that's really safe for you, for your clients, and in a way that's really ethical. You get to learn from me. We have twice a month, we have 1 hour coaching calls where you can come along and ask any questions that you want, get any guidance you want on linking spirituality with your private practice, with your business. You also get to connect with your peers, you get support, ongoing accountability. But I think the really beautiful thing is being part of a community of like-minded therapists who are all on a similar journey. So do you know what? If you're ready to expand your practice this year, well, maybe not expand, maybe refine or maybe better embody, or maybe take your practice to the next stage for you by incorporating spirituality in a meaningful way, then you know what? I absolutely encourage you to give it a go and join the Inner Circle. Together we can support and inspire each other as we grow our businesses and make a positive impact on the world. So I really look forward to welcoming you to the Inner Circle. The doors only open twice a year, and they're opening on Friday the 6th of January for 48 hours. So I will put the link in the show notes to join the waitlist so that you can get notified when the doors are opening and you can go and join. If you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to connect with me on social media, not email. Have a beautiful day, and I can't wait to see how your practice evolves over 2023. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye. I hope that you loved this episode as much as I loved putting it together for you. To get more resources to help you in your private practice, head over to Instagram. My handle is @theprivatepracticecoach. And also, if you want more inquiries and referrals for your business, let me know. I have a program called Clients on Demand that opens every quarter, and I can absolutely get you some information for that as well. You are doing an amazing job. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Bye.